here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite There's Nothing Really Exciting coming out, so we're looking at Legends Again's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Iron Factory Seekers, Coneheads, whatever you want to call them. Iron Factory has decided to call them the Fangs of Fury. This is all known to me from Robert D., a dear friend, spreading internet rumors about me pretty much constantly these days. For those listening, if I'm doing the box art for something, I'll let you know. If you see a guy named Robert saying I'm doing the box art for something, don't believe it. It's nonsense. I'm getting hit up with private messages all the time saying congratulations on your box art for such and such. I know where that's coming from. It's coming from one of two places, and he makes up at least 50% of it. That's neither here nor there. He is a dear friend. I love him dearly. Let's take a look at the accessories. So really, they just come with their null rays and then their little clips underneath that we've seen before, so we're not going to go over these. If you want, you can look at my previous set of Iron Factory Seekers where we talk about them in more detail. And then it comes with the Build-A-Figure piece for Sunstorm, which is the middle section, which I think is a clever way to do business. I mean, obviously, it's a marketing scheme to get you to buy all the sets, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I think that it makes for a fun little treat when you finish it off. And just a close-up of all their null rays is pretty much what you would expect for all three. All three are different sculpts, independent from one another, and are appropriate for the character. So we're only going to really take a look at one articulation-wise. We'll talk about the differences with the others very briefly, and then we'll show the transformation of one. So the head is on a ball peg. You get limited up. You know what? It's limited, but it's fair. And same down. Silver face paint, red eye paint, silver nose cone paint, gunmetal rather. It looks great. Gunmetal paint on the chest. We got blue plastic. We have the translucent piece for the cockpit. All works fairly well. Silver paint added for the shoulders. Let's talk about them. They're on hinges here at the torso that come out the ball pegs at the shoulder so you can get the arm all the way up to 90 degrees. Down and swiveled around. You can even get a little bit of a butterfly by manipulating that ball peg. No problems there. These will obviously swivel where they peg in. You got a single jointed elbow that gets you 90 degrees and a wrist swivel. Nothing really to turn your nose up at. It all kind of works as you would imagine. Waist swivel, no issues there. And then we have T-jointed ball joints for hips. Get you out to there. Pretty much the full Van Damme. Pretty much the full Monty. With a thigh swivel, a single jointed knee that gets you 90 degrees. And then for the feet, we have an ankle tilt up, an ankle tilt down. Is all on a ball peg. You have an additional toe tilt, which is really tight, and then you have an ankle rockers on that same ball peg. These obviously articulate a bit on the sides, and then on the back, these obviously articulate on the ball pegs. You can kind of have them display whichever way makes most sense for your setup. Let's look at the other two very briefly just in terms of details. So Ramjet pretty much has the same thing. We have I guess the silver is on Dirge as well. I just didn't talk about it, but it's right there in the chest. The same gunmetal, pretty much the same design with the wings and all pretty much identical. And then we have Thrust, which has more of the more traditional kind of Seeker aesthetic with the wings and such. Paint application and stylings, though, are pretty much identical. So let's transform one, and I feel like the blue will show up better on camera, but who knows? So we're going to lift the head up. Well, we're going to take these wings and spin them around. I'm sorry. We'll do that on both sides. And then we're going to take this backpack and bring it up and out and extend this piece. And then, if you can, this is a bit tricky for me, but let me see if I have my spudger. And I can push through to bring the cockpit out and the nose cone out, and then we're going to tuck the head in, and then this piece is going to collapse and tab back into the nose cone. No problem. We're just going to straighten these out. We're going to close up over the thrusters here. These are the landing gear. They're a little tricky for Bobby Big Hands, but we'll show them in a bit. And then you can just tab them together, and then you can combine or wars them in, and they have to clip around there and tuck in there, fold the wings down. Actually, you can keep those up because now we're going to bring the shoulders all the way down. You can take the bits off. The shoulder will plug into the wing here, and we'll do the same for the other side. Easy for me to say. There we go. And tab in there. Cleaner up. Fins up. Tab in your guns to the bottom. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at all three. there they all are in alt mode. There's Tiger Tracks for a size comparison. And I think they work just fine. You know, I don't think you need much more than this. It's not the cleanest with the arms and such, but I think for its purposes, it works. And then this is where the landing gear are here, you know, and there. And then you can tuck those in as well. And, you know, I mean, what more do you want, you know? Legends class Coneheads. I think it's fine. Final thoughts wise, I don't really have many complaints here. Sometimes I have tolerance issues with Iron Factory and DX9's Legends stuff. These work pretty well across the board. Like if you're a Legends collector and you're looking for a set of Coneheads and you're kind of dig the aesthetic, I mean, the unfortunate thing is that Iron Factory kind of only scales with Iron Factory, but you know, if you're bought in, if you're all in on that line, if you've drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak, then the good news is these are really well made, they're really well sculpted, they're really well painted, and they're pretty fun to mess with. So I don't really have many complaints. I could nitpick it to death. You know, I will say, like, and this might be individual results will vary, but like the screws aren't tight here, like there's a little gap. I mean, I could go that far, but honestly, I don't think it's worth it. Honestly, I think that it's not worth nitpicking this set that much. It's just kind of really well done. So strong recommend from me. Thank you to Robert. I feel like I'm being overly nice. Only one way to fix that. Kick Tiger Tracks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.